Hey, thanks for tuning in to our series on the pitfalls of home buying and credit. Today, we're going into a little different direction, and these are the top frustrations of the mortgage process in buying a home. I'm John Tice, and I'm here with Bill Stouffer with ERA Home Loans. And Bill's going to share with you 4 topics, and these are kind of broad, of the frustrations that he sees people dealing with as they're going through the process of buying a home and documenting things properly for an underwriter that you never get to meet, who is going to push your buttons when they don't like something. So, and then you'll yell at Bill and you'll yell at me. So, top frustrations of the mortgage process. Number 1, I don't know if it should be satisfactory or unsatisfactory bank statements, but those bank statements that you turn in 3, 4, 5 times that nobody likes, Bill, tell us what they need.
Yeah, our challenge now is everyone wants to go paperless, so many companies don't send out monthly statements. So the buyer says, no problem, I got this covered. They go online, they print off their 2 or 3 months, and they fax them in or email it to us. And we reject them. So the condition still stands. We need 2 months satisfactory bank statements. Buyer sends them again. Well, they're starting to get a little frustrated because in their mind they already provided it.
Sure.
However, what's missing is their name, or perhaps the name of their institution, their account number, and it also must come from a secured site, and it must have that HTTPS on the bottom. And if those components aren't there, they will not be accepted, and we're going to ask that buyer to take them down to their bank and get them stamped and signed by the teller. There's just no way around it.
Now, where the frustrations come in, of course, no one likes to do things 2, 3 times, and you're satisfied with what you're turning in, but they have to be fully identified, like we've said. Secondly, when you run out of time and we send you to the bank to get that, your bank will want some lead time to bring that up, to print it, and they're going to start charging you $10, $15 for these statements. So part of our goal for being here today is to warn you so that you get the proper thing, or that you order the statement, or that you just print out the proper format. Most banks allow you to view it online or to view the actual statement. So if they view the actual statement and print that, we got everything we need. We're just trying to, again, these are the frustrations, and this one, trust me, is number 1 for a reason. We run into this a lot, and you never get an explanation, oh, you were missing a number. It's just unsatisfactory, and that's where the trouble begins. Number 2 is a lot like number 1, and that's the pay stubs aren't identified. We don't know who it came from.
Sure, a lot of employers have you to see your pay statement. You log into your HR site and you can get a printout of your pay stub, but it's just the data. It doesn't identify the company. It doesn't have your name on it. Or sometimes it has the company and not your name, and vice versa. We can't accept them. And it's a major deal to go back through HR to prove that these are in fact your pay stubs. But there again, there's no way around not having personal identification on your pay stubs. We must prove that those are yours.
Now, the simple answer to all of this so far, in my mind, is you're going to call Bill, you're going to get pre-approved, we're going to pull some credit, print out a bank statement, print out a pay stub, and just give it to him and say, what do you think? What does it need? What's it missing? We can, we have plenty of computers. We can always log in, bring it up, and go into the proper site and the proper format while you're here. Again, wouldn't it be great to get that done and out of the way and get that approval than to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks from settlement and find out your loan's not being approved because you're missing a proper format. The answers are all there, they just can't be used. Real frustrating. The paper stuff is the trouble. Number 3, it's going to be right along with that, and that's a paper trail of your money, of the assets, the money that you have, that you're earning, that you're spending, that you put as a deposit. All of them cause trouble.
This particular topic drives everyone crazy. Especially buyers that have multiple accounts. You have a money market, you have a 401k, and a couple savings accounts, and you're just trying to pull it all together so it's in one place so you can get your hands on it to go to settlement. We need to see that paper trail. And then on top of that, we need to account for any deposits that don't match the direct deposit from payroll. And if you can't document where that deposit came from, we won't count it, and it's as if it didn't exist. And we have instances where a problem arises where you're counting on the use of that money as your total funds for settlement, and you're coming up short because it's not documented what the source of that deposit was. It is a challenge.
And in this case, it's always, the rule of thumb has always been timing is everything, because there's always been a window out there that if we go back far enough and that money's there, there's no questions. And that's typically been 60 days?
Typically.
And is that still a valid number?
Sure. You give us bank statements with all your funds intact for 60 days, and we don't see any deposits that are out of the ordinary, we will ask no further questions.
Yeah, so if you're moving money out of your home, whatever line of cash you have, your 401k, whatever it is, move it into a savings account, move it into checking. When it's 60 days old, there's no more questions. But if you're getting those deposits or you're moving money out of an account, the scrutiny at times, again, makes it one of our top frustrations in banking. Number 4, this is kind of a fun one, because can you have too much money, or can it be hard to document money? Well, that's what we've been talking about all along. So here we go. Number 4 is overtime, bonuses, tips, and commissions. Oh my. These can be heartbreaking because they all represent money and what you live on.
Sure. In the old days, I would ask the bartender or the waitress what they made. They told me, I wrote it down, and we were done. Now we have to prove it. So for a waitress, many of them may only make $2 or $3 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
They may only claim a certain percentage of their tips. So we're only going to count what is on their W-2 or their pay stub broken down by the hourly rate plus the tips averaged over 2 years. And that's the same process for overtime, for commission income, or for a bonus. We do need to break down the income, and we must have that history for overtime, bonus, commission, tips, or you typically will not be able to use it towards qualifying.
And that's self-employed people too.
Self-employed too.
Still the 2-year rule.
2-year rule. We want 2 years tax returns. You know, they'll add back in depreciation, business use of home, and those kind of things. But at the end of the day, they're only going to give you credit for what you paid taxes on, and they'll add the 2 years together and divide by 24 months.
So right now we're in a world where many people are starting their own business to find work, and that's a 2-year window to get that income averaging to the point where we can use it to help you buy a home. So there are always exceptions to the rule. Easy thing, call Bill, bring a copy of that bank statement, pay stub, income tax if you're self-employed. We want to see what you've been reporting. If you don't report it, it doesn't exist. If we can't verify it with your employer that what you're receiving is overtime as opposed to your contract work period, and there's a whole long explanation to that we were talking about before we started this camera. We want to be able to just meet with you and look over the documents that you have and get you started down the right road. Nothing more frustrating, and it didn't make the list, not getting the home that you feel you can afford and that we can do the math and show that you afford. We need to prove it to the lenders, and the scrutiny today is so high compared to what it's been. However, at the end of the day, you're going to get a great rate, a great buy in a house. You're moving your family forward with probably one of the best investments you're ever going to make. And that's why we've been here so long. We enjoy doing what we do. Mm-hmm. And Bill, thanks again for your help on the tips.
Thank you for having me.
I'm John Tice, Realty Chef. I'm here with Bill Stouffer with ERA Home Loans. Our contact information comes up next. Any of this didn't make sense? We can talk to you live. Call us anytime.